So yeah, when video games are released, they can either come out very good or very bad. Sometimes games go through very thorough and weird changes. Hi, my name is Matthew, and today I'm going to be doing a mini-series called Did You Know About Your Favorite Games? Or, for short, Bags of Gaming Facts. Basically, in this mini-show, I'm going to do it once a week. I'm going to take facts from your favorite games, and I'm just going to tell you about them and see if you did or didn't hear about them. Now, you can, in the comment section below, you can send me the games, like tell me what games you want to see, and also you can request what games you want me to review next, but if I don't have the games, I can't review them. So yeah, I mainly have old school PS2 games and new WWE, Xbox One games, so yeah, and today we will be focusing on Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, let's go. So, let's begin. First of all, did you know, interestingly enough, Ratchet and Clank first started off as a completely different game. Ratchet wasn't in it, Clank was nowhere near being in the game, and it was about this young girl with a double-bladed stick, and yeah, the game had a bunch of weird models. You can probably find something about it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of footage and stuff you could find on DidYouKnowGaming.com and Did You Know Gaming YouTube channel. They're very good channels. Check them out. This is where I'm getting the inspiration for this series. So basically, it started out as a more realistic game, but people panned it for being boring and not that fun. So what happened was that they reworked the game, they reworked the design, so it got changed into an entirely different game. Ratchet was involved and stuff, and dude, I'm in the middle of a video, dude.
What's that?
I did not mean for that to happen. Hey, bro. Also, did you know, interestingly enough, in the first original build for Ratchet and Clank, when the game was officially going to be called that, Clank was actually going to be one of the main villains. He would be used by Chairman Drek to try and take out Ratchet, but near the end of the game, he would actually realize what he's been doing is wrong. Now, the developers thought this wouldn't be a good idea, since Ratchet and Clank are on the cover, they look like they're allies, so they decided to make Clank Ratchet's ally, and interestingly enough, they took some inspiration from this, and then in Ratchet and Clank 3, we saw an evil side of Clank in the form of his clone known as Clank. Speaking of Clank, did you know, in Ratchet and Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal, in the subtitles, his name is spelled C-L-U-N-K, Clank, but in Secret Agent Clank, which was made by High Impact Games, the name is spelled K-L-U-N-K, Clank with a K. This was actually a mistake made by High Impact Games. Also, is there any chance during the games you noticed the ridiculous amount of crates that were always laying about the levels? It was never explained where the crates came from and why there were so many of them until Ratchet and Clank All for One, where it was explained there was an enormous crate producing factory that dropped crates all over the planets in Ratchet and Clank All for One. Interestingly enough, in the Ratchet and Clank games, they actually have some innuendos in some of their titles. For example, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, and Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. Now, in other countries, the names were changed, or they were just called Ratchet and Clank 2, or Ratchet and Clank 3, or Ratchet and Clank 4, just so these innuendos wouldn't be spread to the kids. Did you know every single interpretation of the Rhino up until Ratchet and Clank All for One were actually gigantic missile launchers? However, in Ratchet and Clank All for One, they were represented with enormous body armor suits that kind of represented Iron Man's Hulkbuster armor, which was specifically designed to take down the Hulk. Did you know, in Ratchet and Clank 1, you can meet a plumber character that actually breaks the fourth wall. mentioning how he'll meet them in the next game, and this plumber's crack joke that happens throughout all the games. Not to mention, in the Ratchet and Clank reboot, he states, "I'll see you in the next game," in specific parts of the world, but in parts like Europe and America, he'll say instead, "I'll see you in the next reboot," hinting they may be planning to reboot the series again, or they're just planning to do something else with the franchise no one else knows yet. Did you know? The hardest boss in the entirety of Ratchet and Clank is considered to actually be Chairman Drek from the original game. A lot of players said he was really unfair because he flew away, he regained health, not to mention the fact he had a time bomb over your head that you had to keep stopping, he had the Agents of Doom, and the boss became crazily unfair. It actually made some players really angry, and was considered one of the hardest bosses of all time. Did you know? In Ratchet and Clank All for One, 2 of the costumes in the entirety of the game were actually designed by real-life people. Before Ratchet and Clank All for One's release, there was a contest, and the winners would get to design costumes for Quark and for Nefarious for the actual game. These people did win the competition, but I'm not going to reveal who they are or why the costumes were released, because I don't want copyright issues all over my head. And fun fact, did you know that in Ratchet and Clank 2 and Ratchet and Clank 3 you can find a secret little museum that actually leads to a bunch of content from the game? Interestingly enough, this content actually includes weapons and all other types of thingamajiggies. Other fun fact, did you know in Ratchet and Clank 1 there's a drill that Ratchet fixes by karate chopping it? This drill was planned to be a weapon in Ratchet and Clank 2 and 3, however the model was glitchy, not to mention the fact by using it, Ratchet was left defenseless. Since it was close quarters, Ratchet could easily be attacked and slaughtered in seconds. So they decided to remove the weapon out of the game and replace it with the Walloper. They have attempted to make other versions of the weapon, however it doesn't always seem to work. Also, another fun fact. Did you know there are 3 attempted swear words in the entirety of the series? 2 of them succeeding but getting bleeped out, and 1 being stopped by Ratchet. And that does it for today's episode. If you guys enjoyed, then punch that like button in the face. Don't break it, because then you might not be able to like my videos anymore. And I'll see all of you in the next episode. Bye!